Hello everyone, here I am. I know it's not Friday, it's Saturday, but anyway, I've actually got here. So it was a bit of a rugged week, lots of interesting things happens. As soon as I did what I did last Friday, the pressure came in. Some of you know I suffer from chronic pain, chronic neuropathic pain, so it's sort of nerve pain, and after a fall in 2001, I think it was. So my life's been quite slow, and but in the last couple of years I've got a lot better by giving up a lot of the drugs I was on and God knows what else, and self-medicating. And this week I've been discovering it for a while, how much any sort of stress affects my pain levels. And once I posted that up last Friday, and then all of a sudden I started worrying about the whole thing, about its production values and doing all this stuff and making it right, and couldn't sleep for 3 nights, ended up in pain, got drunk one night and bloody felt incredibly sorry for myself, and then finally yesterday I woke up and thought, oh geez, just give it away, Stuart. You know, like, it amazes me how stress can get you without, well, especially for me it does, that's for sure. Any form of stress I have to be very, very careful of, whether it be physical or mental. Very careful indeed, because it'll get me and it'll knock me out real quick. So anyway, here I am, I'm doing this, and I mean, again, as some of you know, I was a film and television producer for many years, so doing something this rough and just throwing it together and all that is like way out of my comfort zone. So anyway, I'm going to pause. I'm going to run through my favourite movies from 2016, favourite television and favourite music. I've selected 10 of each, and I'm going to talk to you about my three favourites in each sort of thing, and see what you think. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you don't, doesn't matter, it's all good. And I've also put up shorts and some music and everything as YouTube playlists, so you can have a look at those and see if anything sparks your interest. And I mean, if you're struggling to find anything there, just either send me an email or a text or something, and I'll see if I can help you find anything if you're interested in it. Okay, all right. Talk to you again soon. I'll have a coffee and I'll come back. Bye-bye. All right, here I am back again. I had a pause and a coffee and sort of rejigged the camera, had a look at that first thing, and I'm just going to put it up. Who cares? It's like, some of you would also know, I worked in the film and television industry for about 15, 16 years, but as a producer, and I just forgot everything. And the other thing that sort of gets me is, I think because I did that, this has to be perfect, and I have production values and scripts and God knows what else, and can't be bothered. It's all good. I'm just going to rab it on, and if people quite like it, they quite like it. Anyway. My top 3 albums for 2016. And my number 1 would be a woman called Michelle Gurevich. Yeah. She's a Canadian singer-songwriter, been around for, well, not that long. She's probably done 4 or 5 albums. She originally recorded as For Chinese Woman, which was, so this is the first album she's put out that's attributed to her name, and I just love it. She's of Russian heritage and moved to Canada when she was a youngster and released 3 albums, and they mainly sold in Russia and the Baltic countries, so she's actually living over there now, I believe, and touring a lot and doing really well. But I just love this album. If you want somebody who's sort of slowcore, lo-fi sort of sound, she reminds me of a woman called Annabelle Lamb, who was operating in Britain, probably the mid to late 70s, did 2 or 3 fantastic albums. And it's the first time I've ever heard anyone that sort of sounds similar and using a sort of similar musical palette for presenting his songs, which I think are awesome. So That's Michelle. And so she'd be my number one pick for 216. My next one's a favourite band of mine from the trip-hop era called Funky Porcini, which is actually a guy called James Bradle. Bradle, yeah. And I mean, he's in his mid-50s now, and he's been around for a long time, sort of in a sort of down-to-tempo, breakbeat, new jazz sort of field. Trip-hop, a lot of people called it. But he's still recording, and his albums have just got better and better and better. And this new one that came out in the middle of July, Conservative Apocalypse, I just love. It's sort of hard to explain, but it's sort of new jazz more than anything, and sort of taking it out there quite a bit. He's on. The people that sort of know trip-hop know that the most innovative trip-hop label was Ninja Tunes, and Ninja Tunes still operating, still putting out fantastic music. So, yeah, not everyone's cup of tea, but I love it. Yeah, so... And then, so the third one is a guy called Xavier Amendifilizic or something, I can't. Sure. But his stage name's Fantastic Negrito. And he's been around for a while. He's first started recording in 1996. But his latest album, The Last Days of Oakland, just fantastic stuff. Sort of jazzy blues. He won the Grammy Award this year, actually, for this album, The Last Days of Oakland, as Best Contemporary Blues Album. And I just love it. Oh, it's fantastic. It's just written about where he lives, which is in Oakland, and his feelings about it, and, how he sees his town of birth, I suppose, where I think he was born there. I mean, he's a Negro, and African American, I mean. Shit, I'll get myself into trouble, won't I? But anyway, yeah, lovely album. Love it, love it, love it. So, you can see on my, I do a lot of sewing, don't I? Not to worry. On my, playlist that I put together, I've put up videos of tracks that I really like, so you can have a look, see what you think, and have a look around and see if you can find them. Some of you probably couldn't in New Zealand, but if you need to know anything, just give me a call or text me or something, and I'll let you know how you can get hold of them if you're really interested. Okay, alright, I'm going to pause again now, and I'll come back and finish off, do the movies and the television shows. Won't muck around so much, probably, because you'll be getting bored, but anyway, okay, back again. Now, I've just been having a look through the television series that I selected. Now, over the course of the year, I watched lots of television, lots of shows that were started out 2 or 3 years ago, so the new seasons. But I thought I'd just pick ones that had premiered in 2016. And most interesting thing, I found that most of the ones I really liked were comedies. And the other thing that seemed to show up a lot of them were comedies about people struggling with mental illness and stuff like that. And it was, very interesting. Television certainly pushing itself forward as a medium that will tackle issues through programming, yeah. So, I loved it. I mean, number one for me was Baskets. Zach Galifianakis. It's a little 30-minute comedy, black comedy, really. And he's a clown. He's a rodeo clown. And he's sort of gone to Paris to learn how to be a clown, didn't do very well, and comes back and gets a job as a rodeo clown. But he actually, Zach plays 2 roles. He also plays his brother, who's a real sort of anal salesman type dude that sort of, really pushes it to him all the time. And the characters are just wonderful. Martha Kelly plays Martha Brooks, and she's just fantastic. She's sort of in love with him and will do anything to help him. But you know, it's worth a look. If Louis C.K.'s involved in it, he created it with Zach, so you know it's got to be quality. Anything Louis C.K. does is just fantastic. So yeah, just really great. Now the other one is another one put together by Louis C.K. and it's called Horace and Pete, and set in it's modern day, but it looks at a couple of brothers who are not really brothers, but who run a pub in, I think it's Chicago, current day Chicago, Brooklyn. And it's just filmed on set. Everything's done live. Louis C.K. plays the main character, Horace Whittle, the 5th, 6th, 7th, Horace Whittle the 7th or something it is. 49-year-old divorced bloody lunatic. And Steve Buscemi plays his brother, who's a co-owner of the bar. Just fantastic. But like it pushes you quite a bit because there's a lot of mental illness turns up in it, and it's certainly a black comedy. You wouldn't call it a comedy as such. I mean, on Wikipedia it's called a dramatic tragedy, so, you know, but really it's a comedy. But, yeah, so really good. Well worth checking out. Again, half an hour, so it doesn't take too much time to have a look at the first one. Now, the other one, some people that know me quite well know that I love Canadian television, and one of my all-time favourite television shows is Trailer Park Boys. That's been going for, I think it's about 10 seasons now. It's actually on Netflix now. It got resurrected after it got dumped in Canada. So last year and the year before, I think. Last year there was a new series, and there's going to be another series this year. So, yeah. So, with that, Letterkenny, a Canadian television sitcom sort of thing, that very similar feel to Trailer Park Boys, quite ridiculous in lots of ways, but incredibly funny, and just fantastic. And Jacob Thurney, he was part of the Trailer Park Boys creative team, and just, yeah, fantastic. So well worth a watch. But, you know, if you're into mainstream, it's not going to work for you, because it just certainly is. None of these television shows are really mainstream at all. So they're, you know, you might have to search around to find them. If you can't, let me know. I'll see if I can help there. But yeah, love them. So you can have a look at the shorts there with the other ones I sort of picked for the year. Yeah, so see what you think. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, well, not bye-bye. I'm coming back. I'm just taking another pause, and I'll do movies, and I'll say goodbye. Okay, back again. I'll do movies now. I'll do it a lot quicker. Of course, I picked 10, but these are my 3 that I love the most. The first one's High Rise, by an English director called Ben Wheatley, and it stars Tom Hiddleston, Jeremy Irons, Sienna Miller, Luke Evans, Elizabeth Moss. Fantastic. It's based on a book by J.G. Ballard, who's had quite a few movies made from his books, but it really stretches you big time. It's set in a dystopian world, but have a look at the short, see what you think. I loved it, thought it was fantastic. Stretched me quite a bit, which is good. So yeah, have a look. The second one is Captain Fantastic, comedy drama, starring Viggo Mortensen from Lord of the Rings, a friend of New Zealand, of course. It's a story of sort of redemption in some ways. I mean, you can't really go into it too much, but it's just a brilliant story, great acting. It's got some holes in it and everything, but it's just so lovely to watch and makes you feel good, and it's got to be a good thing. So, Captain Fantastic is my second on the list. And third is a movie called Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, starring Tina Fey, which is set in Afghanistan. It's about a woman journalist who goes over and discovers what it's all about, really, which is quite a shock for her. First time out of the office, and she goes as a correspondent in Afghanistan in the middle of the war. So, just fantastic. Great look at how strange war is and what a weird bloody world we live in sometimes. So that was my third pick. None of them sort of did all that well at the box office or anything like that, but they're just what really turned me on for this year. So there you go. I'm going to sign off now. I went on for far too long, probably. But yeah, it was nice to chat to you. I hope you can put up with how messy it all is and how much I don't look at the camera and all those weird things. But anyway, that's all good. Hopefully, next Friday I'll put up another one. Won't be as long. I'll just have a bit of a chat about the week and that'll do it. Yeah, so enjoy your week, everyone. And I hope the world treats you kindly. Bye-bye.